Sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk. Carjacking old lady at a red light. Pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like.
What's up, guys? I know they couldn't see
Now they
us.
can't. No, I was asking you if they could or not.
No, they couldn't see us. Hey, everybody! Thought we'd just get demonetized right off the bat. Just make it so we're in trouble with YouTube right off the bat this evening. Let's see who we got in here. We got HG was first in the house, and then we got the Terminator, and then Eagle Lover Text. Okay, I have to ask, what's a Taurus instigator? What happened? I missed it, and I kind of want to know what you guys are talking about. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Faith K. How you doing?
Hey,
Skanes Girl.
hey.
Dusty Country Road and Tiger 454. How's everybody doing tonight? It is Tuesday night. Time for our weekly live. Why are you sitting so far out of screen?
Because you don't give me any room to come
We'll
in.
scooch over this way.
Well, the chairs don't fit. You got a big butt.
I got a big butt. I cannot lie. Oh, Instigator, Terminator. Okay, I get it.
Terminator's an instigator?
No, it's Instagator. I don't know. I have no idea what they're talking about. It's been a long day, guys. Instagator and Terminator. Okay. So I hope everybody had a good week. It was a good week. I mean, I think it was.
Yeah, it was decent.
Just standard stuff around here on the homestead. We managed to get rid of a couple of sheep. Kyle from Nowhere Homestead came over and we gave them 2 of our sheep because they needed.
Well, he bought them.
Well, he bought one.
Mm,
Well, there's a trade. And,
right. We needed to replace
look,
them.
she's trying to short circuit me. We got rid of 2 sheep. That's the only thing that matters.
And then we have a goat coming.
No, we don't have.
Yes, we do. That Nubian is mine. It's already paid for.
That's fine. It can live up there for.
No, it's coming here.
Get rid of those 2 twins. Get rid of those 2 twins.
Those 2 twins aren't going to be any problem.
Okay.
They're not going to affect her.
Starla, you're here. Yankee Watchdog showed up too. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate everybody being here. But we've been working on taking care of the animals. And then I guess the big news is we had a community thing this weekend, right?
I guess that's big news, but yeah, I mean, we do it.
What bigger news did you have than that?
I don't know.
Nothing. Apparently nothing if you don't know. Hey, Ken Squatch.
Well, some of the good news, the gal that gave me the recipe for the Hungarian goulash, she finally got back to me. They got back from their cruise. She was able to taste it, remake it, and all of that. She said there was enough in there for 2 meals for her, but her husband's like you. He's a big eater, so he ate the whole thing.
Good for
him. And so she ended up ordering 10.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. You got quite a bit of sales done this week.
Yes, I did. Yeah, quite a bit. Shipped the first one out today. The rest will go out on Friday. So just trying to figure everything out with pirate ship.
Yes, General Shenanigans.
Yeah.
And this is my co-leader, Major Payne.
Oh, hey.
Oh, man.
Well,
So, yeah.
You made me a major.
Yeah.
That's good.
I couldn't think of anything else.
Okay.
Hey, Rickster. So, this community thing that we went to, we had it.
It was the Homestead potluck.
It was the quarterly Homestead potluck is what it was.
We had quite a few new
and
people
usually we do it at one of the local churches, but the church decided they didn't want us doing it there anymore.
Some people don't know that that's the whole story, so
it's
just little bits and pieces of information.
I'm not going to give the details. I'm just saying that we're not doing it at the church any longer, but we had it out at a local lake.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was nice.
Aside from having to fight Kansas country directions,
they're so weird out here.
Oh my God.
We have said this all the time. It's like literally your directions are go to the cemetery, make a left, go to the T, make a right, and then go somewhere else. And it's like, what in the world is a T? And
no. It wasn't the cemetery. It was go to the first country road, make a left.
Oh yeah, that was the first.
And then go down about a mile.
Yeah.
They make a right, and we're like, this road that they had that they told us to turn on.
We ended up paying to get in the park, and we didn't have to.
Well,
we did, and we didn't have to.
Well, the gate, the second gate we went into was a pay
Didn't
if you
charge.
Want. Yeah, there was a box there that you were supposed to self pay. So
well,
everybody was supposed to self pay, but
nobody
didn't.
We did.
Yeah, we had a young lady working at the gate that had no clues about what was actually in the lake park.
Yeah.
But we went down there and we had it down by the lake. It was a nice little pavilion.
Yeah.
Gosh, how many people would you say was there?
I don't know.
30, 40 maybe?
More than that.
30.
And we even had people that were just at the lake that just came up and joined us.
Well, that's because normally we have a potluck, but this time they did something different. One of the couples in the community were kind enough to pay for a food truck, taco truck. And everybody really liked the food. It was Mexican.
I didn't have any. You guys know how I am. I had to get my own.
But it was nice. But we had people come up that were not part of the community. Well, I guess at that point in time they were part of the community for at least 5 minutes while they were eating.
Some of them stayed even.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, some of them stayed. And then there was another couple that came up after lunch later on, and they came up and joined in.
Oh, did they?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, that's not the one I wanted. Turn left at the vodka tree in my county. We had high school hooligan meet us. See, and we're not local, so we don't know these things. But they said the first country road, and so we're inside the city limits, and there's a road, and we were supposed to take that one. And she's like, "Is this where we need to turn?" I was like, "No, we're still in town. We're still in." So
country road to us, it's a dirt road.
Yeah, country road is like what we live on.
Right.
You know, we're 5 miles off of any pavement whatsoever.
Right. So that's what we were looking for.
Yeah. Hey, Rosie. I'm going to go back up. Terminator posted something. Oh, nope, that's not it. I already saw that.
Do you need my glasses?
Well, no, the chat's moving on me. My grandson let me know we have a very large timber wolf in the area. He said it looks about 200 pounds.
Ouch.
Wow. That would cause a little pucker factor with me and the animals. Mm-hmm. Hey, there's Chuck Peoples.
Hey,
have
Chuck.
Not got a chance to watch your latest video, Chuck. I'm trying to find time to do that so I can see what it's all about. Looks interesting. But yeah, so we're there, and it was nice. And we didn't normally we have like presentations. You know, somebody's there and 2 or 3 people.
This was just an opportunity for everybody that wanted to swim to go swimming, anybody who wanted to fish, go fishing, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's really the feel everybody wanted, or what the couple putting it on wanted. And I think he accomplished that. Both of them did.
Yep.
It was accomplished.
Yep, absolutely.
It was so relaxing.
It was kind of funny. We actually had American Roots Farm actually drove up from New Mexico. They just purchased land up here.
Yeah.
Sight unseen.
Right.
A little crazy, but that's okay. If you knew
well, they took the community's word for it.
Yeah, if you knew this family, crazy fits in.
Wild for them.
Crazy fits in a very good way. Yeah. And we're looking forward to them actually being able to move up here.
Yeah, but she was really funny. She came right up to me and she's like, "I don't know where I live." And I was like, "Well, where did you go? You're right next to so-and-so." And she's like, "Well, we were out on this road." And I'm like, "Oh, you were way off. You need to be out here by me." And she was like, "What?" All I was like, "Yeah, you're out by me." So anyway, Tag was able to take them to see their property. So
we got a bunch of people in our chat that grew up real country. I can tell by the way that they're posting these instructions.
Yeah.
No, but we just had a really good time talked about a little bit of everything.
I'm going to start requesting the coordinates so that I know what people are. I'm like, just give me the coordinates and I will find it.
Yeah, just put up a video about it. Mm-hmm. And again, that's another one I have not got a chance to look at yet.
Yeah.
But it was kind of funny because they were down by the lake watching the kids swim, and some people started migrating down there. And there's like this one solitary tree.
And it wasn't very old. It was a young tree.
It's casting what? If it was a 10-foot wide circle of shade, that's being generous. but there must have been about 15 people
I was laughing so hard.
shoved into that little circle
Mhm.
of shade while they were talking, because it did
Mhm.
get hot. It was.
I was fine. I don't
Well,
know what you guys were talking about,
if
because
you-
everybody's like, come in the shade, come in the shade. I'm like, I really need the sun, because when I was in the shade, I was getting a little chilly. And so this is what
I don't know.
living without AC does for you, I guess, because right now there's a heat alert going out and everything's so hot. And basically all day while I'm doing my stuff, I just have to go out and make sure dogs have water and sheep have water and goats have water.
We're going to talk about
chickens have
that. We're going to
water.
talk about that.
So
yeah, but these people, they're sitting there talking, and as the sun moved, the shade moved, so that you just watched them rotate around this little tree.
eventually they ended up in like one small chunk.
Yeah,
So it was funny.
but
It made me laugh.
and it was interesting, but I couldn't help but think of something that Hack said when we were coming back from the first Self-Reliance Festival. We went by the lake there in Tennessee near Camden, and it was Sunday afternoon, which is when we had our thing here too. And there are all these people pulling their great big boats in off the water on a Sunday afternoon.
You said that last week.
And did I?
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're going to say it again?
We got new people in here.
Oh, okay.
If you've heard this before, raise your hand. Go ahead and.
Anyway, there were a lot of boats and jet skis out there.
There were a lot of boats, and there were a couple of big boats for being such a small lake too. That's crazy. That's one thing I don't miss.
Needless to say, they were not the ones that came over and visited with me.
Yeah, they weren't the ones. And we used to have a place on Lake of the Ozarks that really isn't too terribly far from where Rabid Coyote 66 lives. And I'll be honest with you, there towards the end, I hated going down to that.
Oh yeah, our boat, the bigger boats like yachts were coming in, and our boat could not. We just couldn't.
Yeah,
we couldn't stand it. You're like,
yep.
So yeah, no.
It was kind of like that, but it was fun. It was fun watching everybody though. There are a couple of little kids trying to use a paddleboard, and I don't know if the guy knew him or not, but they were sure having fun because he would come by in his jet ski and they were out by like the edge. I don't know if you guys are lake people, but they've got the no wake buoys that they put out there by the swimming beaches. And these little kids were right out by the edge of that. And this guy would come by in his jet ski and he would flip it on its side and make a great big wake trying to knock him off the jet ski. Yeah. And gosh, they did that for a good, 45 minutes to an hour at least.
Yeah.
And the kids were loving it. And it was nice. It was nice seeing them having a lot of fun. Starlet doesn't like big boats, apparently.
Yeah. Right. Or trying to attract the younger girls. So that's a lot of
you get down on Lake of the Ozarks, and you start getting those great big huge cigarette boats.
Yeah.
And they would.
Well, there are even double deckers with slides. Remember that? And this was a long time ago. I can't even imagine what's on there now. So, but it's been so long since we've been there. But yeah, I don't know. Today was pretty productive.
Okay. What'd you do today?
So woke up and then tried to figure out my day, what I needed to do, how I needed to do it. Got the freeze dryer cleaned out because I had eggs explode everywhere. Don't worry, Neon, they were not your eggs. They were mine. And the best I could figure out is maybe weather. And so now I have Neon's eggs in there, and I've got my fingers crossed. I lowered the count of eggs that I put in each tray, hoping that makes a difference. And then I'll monitor it and see what happens. But yeah, it was a mess. I ended up having to take the entire machine apart, the inside of it, and scrub it really good and get everything sanitized to start all over again.
Well, and if the heat keeps up, we might want to shut it down after this load until the heat goes away.
See, this is what I'm not understanding. You're hot. Everybody else is miserable.
Actually, I'm not hot and miserable, but it's back there. I was back there working last night.
It's not like that today. I turned the fan around. You had the fan blowing the wrong way.
Last night, it was miserable.
You literally had the fan blowing outside the door. Had you turned it around, you'd have had a breeze in there.
Okay.
So maybe we need a ceiling fan in there.
Greg says that we have airboats go down the river. Okay, now I got to admit that.
Are you ignoring me?
I heard you, but I'm trying to pay attention to our guests. I see you all the time.
I'm trying to get what I want here.
I see you all the time. I don't see these.
Anyway.
These are guests in our house, and I'm trying to be a good host.
Well,
See what I have to go through, folks? This is what I have to deal with.
But anyway, so got that done, and then I had rendered a bunch of lard because I was going to do the comfrey salve with the sheep tallow, and left it out so it could solidify overnight. And it was weird. There was just like all kinds of weird little, I don't know what they are.
They were bugs.
Yeah, but I don't know what they are.
They're like gnats. They're like little gnats.
But they weren't tiny like gnats. And so, but they all collected in there. And I was like, well, crap, because I didn't want to. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to solve this issue. And I did. So got that issue solved today.
How'd you solve it?
What I did is I reheated everything and then ran everything double strain. So I strained it all one time, and then obviously you have to keep the heat on, right? Because you pour it back in there. And then I restrained it again as I added it to the comfrey.
And that's hot enough. That's hot enough that it'll sanitize it and do all that stuff.
Yes, and it's going to get strained a third time, because when I take the comfrey out, get what's rendering.
Oh, is there comfrey in there right now?
It's in there right now. And so I have a gallon and a half.
Did we have enough dried comfrey?
Yep.
Huh.
Yep, I had enough. And so then, this time I didn't.
I just got corrected. I apologize. Yes, you guys are our extended family.
Yeah.
I
And
apologize.
so, but this time I didn't grind it down all the way because it's a double medicine. So last time I powdered it, remember? So I did not do that this time. This time I did like tea leaf size. And so that's all in there working right now. I'm going to let that sit for a while. And then I will do it again. I'll strain it again.
Anyone know what a magic butter machine? Got one for cheating, making tinctures and stuff. Is that the?
I think that's
Is that the countertop? Is that the top distiller, the electric one with the dual heat adjustment on it?
Yeah, we don't call it that, but
I think
we
that's
found
what
a
that is.
really cool one.
And we just haven't been able to purchase it yet because we had a date night.
Well, and now we're putting new tires.
Yeah,
on
we
the
got
truck.
that was some downside that happened.
Yeah, if you guys want to see us at festival, we have to get new tires on the truck.
So Faith asks, HG Faith, is that the Amish magic carpet butter churner? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's a butter churner.
It could be. You don't
It could
know.
be.
Let
It
him
could be.
answer. So, but
Uh-oh.
so I'm gonna say no, HG. Nobody knows what it is. Why don't you teach us?
So Rose said she's moving out of town onto a country, very, very small plot.
You found a
1
place.
acre.
Good.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Oh, well, Faith, you gotta put the little sarcastic emoji on there. Come on, I'm easily confused.
So
Yeah, it's
the brand name.
a combination blender and heating element and a tabletop thing. I mean, so
Oh.
for pot, the edible makers. Okay, yeah.
Let's look into that. I should
Yes,
be writing
again,
that down.
Jamie says, "Congratulations, Rosie."
Yeah.
Oh, you're
That's
gonna
huge.
enjoy it so much. But I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest with you. You're gonna encounter a whole brand new set of irritations, especially if you got animals.
Just call it Rosie's Grumpy Farm.
Okay, so the dogs have been on a mission all week long. It's like upset the human every morning between 7:15 and 7:45.
At night,
No, in the morning.
I'm the human that you leave here during the day.
I'm the human that goes out and takes care of the animals every morning, and those three are on a
pain in the
mission.
butt.
Those three are on a mission to get on my very last nerve. This morning, here's what happened this morning, and I knew better. I knew better than to wear my work clothes out there, but I did
Oh,
anyway.
you did not.
Because I was in a hurry. I step out the door, and within about 10 seconds, the puppy, Freya, had
Jumps
put
on
little muddy paw prints. Because they go out there, it's humid, so there's lots of dew on the ground. And I let him out to run at like 5 o'clock.
Well, and I also have like a mineral bucket full of water so that Fancy can crawl in that during the day to keep her cool down.
Mhm.
And so Freya and Dolly will get in that, and then they go lay out in the dirt. So
Yeah. So she comes up and she puts her
hey, Heidi.
paws all over me. So I'm like, and I'm growling at her. And then here comes Fancy. Fancy is the new big white Pyrenees. Well, this morning she was green because she went out into the pond sometime between 5 and 7 and went swimming.
Oh, it only applies heat?
And
Oh yeah, no, we don't want that.
she came up to me and rubbed against me. So I had green stuff all over my jeans. And I'm like, and then I go out, and this is like within 10 minutes of all this happening. I go out and I'm taking care of the chickens, and one of the chickens found its way into the feed shed yesterday. I think it went in.
Oh no.
There's a place I just noticed.
Was it in there all day yesterday?
No. It was Rodney. It was one I was telling you about with the screwed up foot. Anyway, we got this rooster that's becoming. It's a weird relationship, and I'll tell you about it. But he was in there, and so Fancy decides that she's going to go after him.
Oh no.
And so I got. Not only was I wet, I rubbed up against the barrels that were covered with dust. So now I'm all muddy. My shirt's all muddy, and I had to come in. And yet, you guys ever reach the point in the morning when you're trying to go to work, and you're like, you know what? I'm not going to make it on time.
I was wondering what I was hearing this morning.
It's not going to happen. And so I was just like, I'm going to be late.
That's funny.
You know.
But yeah. No, so did you see Heidi's comment?
Yeah, I saw
it
that.
only applies heat. We don't want that. That machine that we found is better.
But those I personally have no interest in using anything. She doesn't want anything that applies heat for any of her infusions. She still likes the old-fashioned method.
Yeah, and that's what we had found was a machine that will do it for you, and it actually also saves your alcohol, so you don't ever have to buy more alcohol. So,
but that applies heat.
Well, but it also has the cold. I thought you said it had both heat and cold.
No, it's got a dual heat control because you have to set the minimum.
That's not
and the
the one I want. The one I found has heat and cold, and you can decide which way you want to do it.
Yeah.
So, but I know Heidi sets a lot of her stuff for the 4 to 6 weeks and all of that. So, but
let's see here. Let's see what it's
just from what I've seen anyway.
Timer, so you can have that no heat. So
separate from the timer. Okay, so you can have it. Okay.
Yep. Let's see. Let's follow up on this conversation. Some herbs do good with applied heat, though.
Yeah.
The magic butter is usually used for cannabis. Oh, there's Rebecca. We were just talking about you. Your ears were probably burning because we were talking about where we used to live we used to have our. Is this a summer place? There's a trailer.
Summer weekend place.
Our weekend place down
in
at
the
Lake
trailer
of the Ozarks.
park at Lake of the Ozarks. Yeah. That used to be family run, and that's why we left, because then it wasn't family run. The next thing you know, there's a bar in there and docks going everywhere and no swimming hole, and that's when all the big boats started coming.
2 young copper roosters for $10. Man,
nice.
Hey, if Hayes is expensive there as it is here, that is a fantastic deal.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've got a lot to learn, but we have somebody special that will be here in August, and hopefully we're not at festival, but I can always catch her and him during the week.
Are they swinging by in August?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And so that's why I was really hoping that I would have some product that we can go. So I'll probably go get, the bee balm and the mint and all of that, and we'll start with that before we ruin anything else. But which she wouldn't ruin it, I would.
The dogs would.
The dogs definitely will.
Theoretically, hypothetically,
if we had plants.
If we had plants in pots, the dogs would have ate them.
The dogs are total potheads.
I'm not saying that they did. I'm just saying that hypothetically it could happen.
So I gotta find a separate area. But anyway, yeah. So
there you go. Somebody found hay for those. I take it $3. Those are the small square bells. But yeah, that's a great price.
You're not getting round bells around here for $3 a bale.
Shoot, we were paying.
We got a
really good deal where we used to live. We were paying $4 a bale up until 4 years ago, and then it went to $6 a bale.
Oh, for the square bells.
Yeah, for the square bells. Yeah. That was back in a time when we had less animals. I miss those times. Sometimes I miss them.
Until it's time to put them in the freezer, and then you're like, right on. So
here you go. Yeah, how much is small square bales of hay is for you guys? That's
$7.
$7 Canadian. I'm not sure what the exchange rate is now, but that's about where it is.
No,
With the
that's
exchange rate.
cheaper here. So they're 7 because I sent her some stuff and I was shocked at the conversion rate on it. So no, it's quite a bit. That would because I don't know. We don't buy square bells, so it's hard to
Yeah,
tell.
we haven't bought square bales for about 4 years.
Yeah, we don't do that.
See, and that's a hillbilly hamster. That's a crazy price too. At least
yeah, I've seen them about
But
$10.
I'm cheap too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a cheapskate, and that's why I go out and I sit with the animals and make sure they don't jump the fence and stuff, and I get them out on the pasture every day.
Yeah.
You know, and the prices are just going up. I think I told everybody last week our 800-pound round bells went from
How much
65
do
to
say they are up
85.
there?
Where
Heidi? Yeah. Would she say how much are they?
$7.
Oh, she said 7 or more.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's about what I've seen in here.
And we're paying $85.
Round bill.
I'm sorry, those aren't 800. Those are 1,200-pound bells, and everybody else, the guy that gets our hay for us, got a really good deal.
This is what community does for each other. So we actually know who cuts the hay and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So they're all inside the community. And so we don't have to pay those outrageous
Actually,
prices.
Faith says the conversion there it's $5.31 US. That's actually a really good price.
Yeah,
It's
so
cheaper
if
than
you're
around
only
here.
paying 7, that's cheaper than here.
Yep.
So that's good. Which is interesting since they have all the fires up there.
See, they're paying less. They're paying less for round bells than we are too.
100 at 15.
They're going at 125 here, and that's for the I guess that would be the second cut, right? Because first cut it was still 85.
No, you're on first, second cut, third cut, that kind of thing. But it's first year, second year. So
okay.
cattle needs first year.
All right, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Goats and sheep need second year.
I'm still learning.
That's okay.
I'm still learning.
That's all right. That's how we do it.
I can clear a room and you can't. So it's a
How about
trade-off.
that?
It's a trade-off.
I'll keep up with agriculture and you keep up with clearing a room. Now, can you go clear the bedroom so we can start working on it?
It's not the same type of clearing.
What? That's not what you had. No guidelines in there whatsoever. You
So
said
Jonathan
you know how to
says,
clear
no
a room.
idea what hay is around here, though I wish I could get some for my buns. Well, go down and find a local feed store and go buy them. I guarantee you got one near you.
Find a farmer.
Yeah, find a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
But so that, and speaking of hay and agriculture and stuff, I was reading today, the Missouri Farmer News, they just released their report on the spring grain harvest for Missouri, or for North and Central Missouri. They said it was great. They said that it was,
And our feed prices actually did go down.
yeah.
We
Well,
did.
and that's the second part of it. They said that
Yeah,
they said the wheat harvest was really good across this portion of the country this year because had a lot of cool temperatures and enough moisture that it made it better. But then soybeans are hurting right now because of the drought location.
Rachel, I understand what you're asking. No, alfalfa is a totally different story.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is,
That's Richard.
here, I'm sorry, Richard, I don't have
She
my
took her
glasses on.
glasses off.
But no, so alfalfa is a totally different deal, and we do not feed alfalfa in the spring, summer, and beginning of fall. Not until it starts getting cold, and so it just heats them up because of our heat index and our dew point. So we don't here anyway. Not on our farm. I don't know it. So.
Yeah.
But-
No, we used to when we first started. We'd buy alfalfa bales, but then we switched to brome.
Mhm.
And they seem to do better on it in the summertime.
Yeah, we have
But no-
a lot less dead animals.
But then the second part was the soybeans got hit with the drought. This last week's been kind of weird here because we got 7 days where it rained every single day. And this time last year, we were 3 weeks into a 5-week no rain spell. So it was a little bit different. But soybeans are really hurting, and that's causing grain prices to go up. which is kind of interesting. But we don't get soy. We don't use soy in our grain mix.
I do not put soy in anything. I don't put it in my body. I don't put it in his body, and I do not put it in my animals'
At least not
bodies.
on purpose.
I mean, unless somebody's keeping it a secret, we don't do it.
No.
And when I go to the co-op, I get an entire list. I know exactly what they put in where and how much each pound costs. So I know exactly what's going into our feed. But no, I do not do soy.
But
you want some sticky animals, feed them soy.
But
you want some cancer, eat some soy.
Your commercial feeders, the price of that meat is going to go up. That's the whole point of the conversation. Was they said that pork and beef prices that for animals that go through feedlots are going to go up.
And here's the thing, guys: pork can be raised without soy. So start checking with your local farmers.
Yeah. Okay. So John said, at least my buns are eating good. All the sweet potato leaves, vines, putting them better use than just compost pile. Amen.
What is a bun?
His bunnies.
Oh, his bunnies.
You forget. He's where we were when we started doing the bunnies.
Okay. Did you used to call them bunnies? I think we just called them rabbits.
Buns.
You call them bun buns?
And there's two of them.
This I do not remember.
Buns.
Okay. All right.
Faith Case's neighbor usually has 3 crop, 2-year rotation: wheat, beans, corn, the rest. He harvests wheat. I'm pretty sure I saw him drilling bean seeds, but nothing is coming up yet. Yep. Let's see here. My giant red peppers are going nuts right now. Yep, it's hit that time in the summer where the heat just turns them on.
But remember, as you know, so we have the weather and all that. Yep. See, Heidi agrees with me. Yep, no soy. And so, but remember, we have a lot of things going on in the behind the scenes as well. I really think I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist here, but I do believe that there's some weather manipulation, and I'm going to tell you the government was ahead of it because they invited a lot of farmers and paid them money not to farm. Yeah. So there's a lot of corn, a lot of wheat, a lot of that stuff that is actually missing from the south to all the way up to the north. Teapot was just up in, I think, Michigan, and not one cornfield did they see.
And Rabbit says most of the crops around in this area look good to excellent right now, especially after those
yeah, but check your ag reports.
Those RINs we had.
Check your ag reports, because the ag report today, when they end, so just the area that we're at, we get them every afternoon on the news. And so the ag report that came out today, percentages on some stuff are low. They're actually saying that it's not as great as what everything appears to be.
Well,
so is that a scare tactic? I don't know.
It's kind of hit or miss, because they plant corn. Everybody plants corn right around the same time around here. Mm-hmm. And the field across the street looks really good. It looks
beautiful.
It tasseled out and
did look a little on, but when it first started out, it did look like, I was like, that's not going to make it. And then we got all that rain, and now it looks better. But
this is looking really good. But you go to a couple miles down the road, and there's a couple of fields where it's really stunted, and it just doesn't look good. Mm-hmm. So, and it's one of the drawbacks of being a farmer, especially when you do it on that big commercial scale. You get hit or miss.
Right. But you also have to remember we're in a valley too. And so in the valley, you usually do have a little bit more water. It's a little bit cooler. So one of the reasons why we're not dying without the AC. Yeah. So, just we don't get the weather up top or here that they get up top.
Yeah. Yankee Watchdog that talking about India stopped exporting rice. They stopped all their exports. Mm-hmm. And that the rice exports.
Didn't something happen with the wheat in Ukraine?
The grain exports stopping from Ukraine.
Like they blew it up or something.
Well,
right?
and it directly it doesn't affect us, because we don't get.
It's going to affect them.
We don't get enough of our produce from those types of things from those regions for it to make a difference on the surface. Where it's going to affect us is down the road, because, for instance, when they stopped the grain shipments and the Russians started bombing Odessa, that was like 16% of China's wheat imports came out of Odessa.
We sold China most of our food,
so that somebody's going to have to step up and fill that gap. Same with the Indian rice worldwide. So good news. The good news is for farmers like that, it's going to make them more money. Bad news is on the shelves in the United States, probably gonna get more expensive for people.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's nice. Arkansas, and am I reading that right?
Well, here, hang on. Let's do the whole thing. So 25% of white rice exports come from China or India. 40% of basmati and other types of rice. So far, they just stopped the white rice, which, yes, we eat a lot of it, but thank God it's not.
You don't eat a lot of what?
Well, we as a country. And then he follows that up with Arkansas, Louisiana produce most of our rice here in the U.S. Yeah. So it's like I said, it's not going to affect us directly. Indirectly, we're going to see increases in price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Faith K, you're right. California is a big rice production too, a nice waste of agricultural water.
Yeah.
You know, in some place like Arkansas and Louisiana, it makes perfect sense. Some place like California, I never could.
Especially with their water shortages.
Never
and the
could.
droughts
And
that they have makes no sense.
Yeah. You know, and the problem is they take water away from the Central Valley for stuff like that. You know, and the Central Valley produces a lot of goods for the United States. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Let's see what's HG
Tax is in here. Hey, Miss Tax.
Hey, Pippin. Back in the 70s, a farmer had to have the federal rice allotment to grow rice. A group of farmers lobbied Congress, and Earl Butz got them reversed. His father was one of awesome. So Faith says Louisiana double crops their rice fields. They raise crawfish in rice fields. I did not know that. That's
interesting.
Come to Grumpy Acres Farm Tuesday night, and you learn all kinds of interesting tidbits. I did not know that.
Are you gonna ask her to bring you some crawfish at the next festival?
Man, I love crawfish.
He does.
Southeastern Missouri also produces rice. You all know that. Yeah. Although we were down there, when did Craig and I go to Fort Campbell?
Oh my gosh, that was years ago.
We were down there right after the flood, and all that area was completely desertified because of all the mud that they got from the floods. It was crazy. Let's see here. Second, rice duck hunting leases. There you go. And then taste.
You have to read out loud.
Well, and then some damn tasty bugs, Faith. Yes, she doesn't like them, but she likes shrimp. I don't understand that.
I honestly, it's the whole sucking the heads off that I don't understand. And that I probably have had crawfish before. In fact, I know I have, because when we were in Louisiana, there was a restaurant in New Orleans that we went to, and they make a sausage that's gator and crawfish and that kind of thing. So I have had it, but I couldn't see the head. So if the head or brain, whatever you're sucking out of there,
you've had whole shrimp though.
No,
you've had whole shrimp.
I don't eat the head. I don't know what you're talking about. Gosh. You never seen me eat that.
See, look, Faith.
Yeah, anything that's looking back at me.
Faith has you covered, and you can buy just the tails. So yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So the sausage was good. That's not what made me sick when I was down there. What gave me food poisoning was the muffaletta.
Muffaletta she had.
That's what made me sick. Made the whole conference sick. Like we were fighting for the bathroom.
She got off the airplane. We picked her up from the airport.
And I need the emergency room now.
And she was white.
Like I need to go to the emergency room, and he's like, no.
No, I think
he thought I had been drinking the whole time.
Your first request was a restroom.
He thought I had been drinking the whole time, so he thought I just had a hangover. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I am sick. And then you made me wait to 12 hours or whatever to see. So I guess you could figure out what happened. And after he smelled what was going on, he's like, oh, we need to get you to the emergency room.
She wants to know if there's vegan, gluten-free mud bugs.
No.
You know what? I don't think I've ever heard of a vegan wanting imitation crawfish.
There's not even vegan vegetarian chickens. Like people are crazy.
Yes, they are.
So no, there's no such thing. So, sorry. I hope I didn't hurt anybody
being funny,
here.
Right?
I do.
Okay.
This is why I'm laughing. I think it's funny. I don't understand why people actually think that that's true.
Oh yeah. Can't stand. Oh, that's not the one I wanted
Or
first.
lobsters
Man, you guys are,
and
you guys are,
basically any
hang on a
seafood.
second.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you got it.
Jonathan.
I got to go dig up the rest of my purple soup this week. I planted around 2, got about 60 slips ready to go, and don't have room to plant them all.
Dang, who's rocking it?
We've got some out there that we probably ought to harvest.
You said they were too small last week.
Well, no, those were the russets and the goldens.
Okay.
I didn't dig any of the sweet potatoes up because they were growing so good. I didn't want to ruin it.
Okay.
So maybe you ought to go check this week.
All right.
Okay. So the next one, let's talk about your muffaletta problem. Best muffalettas from gas stations. Well, in central grocery stores where they originated. I don't eat them because she hates olives.
I love olives.
Good muffaletta. That's a good sandwich.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're on rabbits. I can't stand shrimp or lobster, basically any seafood. Give me 10 pounds of crawfish. Keep your fingers out of my way.
So if shrimp and lobster and crawfish all taste the same, then why does it matter?
I don't know.
It's all in his head.
Yeah, I always shake my head over vegetarian fed chicken, meat, eggs. If they're vegetarian chickens, it's not
healthy.
Oh, the one that gets me.
Those are your 1 pound chickens.
The one that gets me, Rain, are the vegan cats. Apparently somebody did not pay attention when they were in school because, and they're so proud when they have their vegan cats too. And they're always these sickly looking, scrawny, they're shaking, their fur's all mottled, but man, they're vegan, so they're good kitties.
But yet they don't have a mouse problem. Or a
Okay.
bug problem.
Crawfish do not taste like shrimp. Fighting words right there. I don't know.
I don't know that I've ever had crawfish by itself, but I was always told that they taste the same. Now, shrimp and lobster, I would agree, do not taste the same.
No, shrimp and lobster. Mild whitefish. Shrimp kind of does have it.
Out loud.
I find lobster tastes like mild whitefish. Shrimp kind of doesn't have its own taste, and it's firmer than crawfish tails. Yes, it is.
So then the crawfish tails would be like lobster. They'd be nice and soft and just.
I guess.
As long as nothing's chewy, that's all I care about. So
can't have
shrimp. I know.
Can't have vegetarian chickens because it's a choice, and given a choice, chickens will eat any bug, frog, mouse they can get.
Exactly.
Oh, well, unless they're woke. Woke chickens.
We don't have woke chickens here, so there's that.
They have to be vegetarian because that's what it says on the label.
Not my label. My label says my eggs are bright orange because I get fed protein.
So Rain is agreeing with Faith and
crawdads over shrimp.
Crawdads are greater than shrimp.
Maybe we could try it.
Yeah, Rickster, I'm with you, man. Pretty much anything goes. I've never had escargot, and I'm not saying I won't. I just don't ever envision a time that I'll be in a position where the choice is, sure, I'll have snail.
That's a gourmet dish, right?
And I know it is.
Good.
Doesn't matter.
It's really, really good.
Something about escargot.
But if it's not cooked right, it's chewy.
I've had all kinds of crazy stuff. So
you've eaten cat and dog, so
no,
not on purpose, but you have.
We used to have crawfish boils at the clubhouse, and a lot when he was in. Probably boiled hundreds of pounds of them each time we did them.
I don't know. Maybe we'll get with B, and maybe we'll have to do another. What do we got coming up? Labor Day. Maybe we'll have to do. Remember when we did that big fish boil? Maybe we'll have to do another fish boil.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
We got a lot of people in here who don't like clams. Or
I love clams.
Well,
I even do a really good clam dip.
Escargot and clam equals snot. You got to have a good clam. Got it.
Clam. No. He didn't like. He wasn't really crazy about fish when we first got married, and he was like, "I'm not eating that. I'm not eating that." I'm like, "The heck, you're not." We're in San Diego, and then we ended out in DC, and I would just go get, because he's from the Midwest. He's never had fresh food.
Well, no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
Well, you never had it cooked right either.
It's because my dad was allergic to it. So growing up, I always heard about how seafood was terrible.
Oh no!
And we never
so
had.
good.
The only time we had fish was when
And
we
it's
were with
heart
my
healthy.
grandparents, and it was with them. It was always trout, bass, and salmon. Smoked salmon. at
Isn't
that.
it trout fish?
Look,
I mean, it's so weird. I'm just saying.
I'm
I
just
almost killed my father-in-law, but because I didn't know.
sure
Because
because she didn't know.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
But I
Starla's
did
got
almost
it.
kill him.
Little lemon and red salsa. See, and
Yeah.
I like fresh oysters too.
I have a clam dip, and it was so funny because my godmother and my mom used to make this all the time, and Angie and I were never allowed to get into it, and so we were like, "What?" And then finally, we ended up with the
you see
recipe,
that one?
and now I make it. What
See what face.
clams and oysters are very well. I don't know what to tell you. You just haven't
If
had them
you're-
right.
If you well,
You just haven't had them right.
if you're ever in Boston, seriously,
My dad was in the Navy, so it was like coast to coast, and
If
I'm
you're ever
telling
in
you, you
Boston,
haven't had them right.
the oldest operating restaurant in the United States is there in Boston on
It
the
was
harbor.
so good.
The Union Bay Oyster House.
Mhm.
If you even remotely want to try seafood, go to that place. They've got a really cool oyster bar.
It's Yoda approved.
They've got recipes that they've been using since the 1700s. I'll wave my hand around. If
I
want.
can't see the
You
screen.
can't see it anyway. 'Cause you don't have your glasses on.
Well, I'm barely like hardly reading it because you're not clicking on anything.
You don't have your glasses on, so what does it
Can
matter?
I put my glasses on?
I don't care.
Okay. You usually tell me to take them off.
But yeah, go there. And then they've got the only place. Samuel Adams makes a beer that is an original 1700s recipe, and that's the only place they were selling it. And it was such a good stuff.
So now the coasts are going to start fighting each other.
North Coast, Northeast seafood is stupid, yucky Gulf Coast pizza.
That's pretty good, actually.
You know what?
The first time I ever got introduced to a lobster roll was when we were at where were we?
We were up in New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire, yeah. And
I got to eat lobster every day for a week, twice a day.
It was.
They
good.
had lobster rolls. Okay,
McDonald's sells them.
They call them lobster rolls, but it was chopped up lobster and mayonnaise on hot dog buns. But
on hoagies.
no, those were hot dog buns.
Those were not hot
Those
dog
were
buns.
hot dog
no,
buns.
I just don't know where you got them.
But
Those weren't-
being from the
those were
Midwest,
hoagies.
it was a real treat.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I kind of spoiled him when it came to fish cooking, so he likes it now.
Yeah, did you guys ever eat at the Brigantine or the Jolly Roger in San Diego? Great.
Yeah.
The Brigantine we did.
Yeah.
Yep. In fact, we went on.
Jolly Roger, I don't think was there.
I know, I don't
when
remember
we
that
were
one.
there. No.
But
So
the Brigantine,
Brigantine.
was that
Well,
where
are you talking about Murphy's? You may be talking about Murphy's. You're talking about the Jeep where you hired the homeless guy to watch the Jeep.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh, that
Murphy's.
was Murphy?
Yeah, it was Murphy's, and I don't know if they're still there even. So.
Yeah, but I
You're
miss
talking 30 some odd years ago. So.
I miss seafood.
Yeah.
Good seafood.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we got next? Oh, Gregory's got to go take care of the cows.
Yep.
Got out in the cornfield.
Good.
I know the goats are out right now. I just don't feel like dealing with them.
If you just go yell at the girls and just say, "Go!"
Well, they're
Yep, I hear them barking. They're on it.
The girls are right there. They're standing by the door looking at us.
Oh, well then they.
Heidi
must not
says,
be on.
as a kid, we would go pick the black snails off the rocks on the beach, cook, dip them in butter, love them.
Yes.
Had escargot as an adult, and it was gross. Well, I wonder what the difference was.
The way it's cooked. It's who's cooking it. I'm telling you, it's who's cooking it.
And somebody up above made a comment about squid too. I love squid.
You especially like my squid.
I love
Yeah.
squid. Best squid that we ever had. We caught fresh.
Mhm.
Actually, got it with a knife. Pull it up. Used seawater to stew it in, and threw in a half a stick of butter on it. God, it was so good. No, Faith Gregory's got cows, and Faith K's got her husband. Did your husband get out in the cornfield? I thought it was funny. Come on. Let's see.
So I don't know, but there's a lot of people that won't cook fish the way that I do. Like my catfish salsa, I love it. And people get so turned off by the name and like, here, just try it. And they'll reconstitute it and they eat it and they're like, oh my gosh, this is the best catfish I've ever had. And like, see, it's just all in who's cooking it. So
Yep.
was fancy, yes, very expensive.
Yes, good Good calamari. Good.
Yeah. Calamari is my favorite. My favorite.
Go to a Japanese place and some of the spicy raw squid. Oh yeah.
You just had some.
Yeah, we just had some.
Had some on our date.
Last weekend we went on our date. We went to all you could gorge
Sushi.
That's why I was telling you guys that tempura sushi is just such a
love
weird
it.
thing. It's got to be a Midwestern.
I ordered it, and he's like, I don't know, I've never had this before. I'm like, just put it in your mouth, see what you think. And he was like, well, this is actually really good. And I got you a cooked one too, just in case you didn't like the raw, and you like the cooked one too.
Well, no, it was good. I didn't say it was good. I just said it was weird.
You didn't say it was good. You didn't say it was.
I didn't say it wasn't good.
Right.
It was
it
weird.
wasn't the texture. It
I'm
was
just
the
gonna
taste.
leave that.
The taste is what he said, but it's good.
Okay, our whole itty bitty baby octopus and Italian antipastas. Oh my gosh, you're killing me, man! You're killing me.
Jared's getting hungry.
I had
now.
leftover pulled pork on a tortilla wrap.
You want me to go get some seafood?
No, we don't.
Sure.
Need it. No.
I'll get the salad. Well, if they still have the salad, they can
Oh,
have
look.
the salad.
Tag saw my video.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be good tonight, Tag, and you're just gonna.
You're trying to be good. You opened up with Jason Aldean.
What's wrong with that? See, what's wrong? See, she's woke.
I heard no.
Did you hear that?
No,
you hear that? Try it in a small town. That's bad.
That is not.
That's what you just said.
That
you
is
just literally
not
said
what
that.
happened. So I was.
Give me a +1 if you guys heard her say that.
So the first time I ever heard the song, it was on the radio, and I loved it. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is fantastic!" And then I thought about it for a minute. And I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, they are so going to take this off the air." And I came in, I said something to G about it, and he didn't really acknowledge, and he was like, "Just whatever." And then, sure enough, comes out, he's off the air, Novia's back in it, and doing all that stuff. It is the best song ever that I ever heard. And in fact, it's
I wouldn't go that
well, not that far, but the article that I saw and what I was irritated about is they started attacking country music singers from all the way back, starting to talk about a lot of people and deemed it to be white supremacist. So it just really irritated me. But
thank you very much, Tag. I appreciate that. It's not about me. It's about the people I'm surrounded by. And
I appreciate that.
That's I wasn't thinking of you.
You and I had a conversation.
No, seriously. It's got nothing to do with me. It's got to do everything with the people that I've been able to surround myself.
Yeah, and let me clarify this too. Him and I had a conversation. However, I left it alone and I let him come to the conclusion. And he came to the conclusion by himself. Came home, talked to me about it again, and I literally said I was proud of you. Starla, I don't know what you're proud of me for, and I was like, no, this is a big step.
No,
and just the fact he did the video was
we don't.
In a Small Town by Jason Aldean. You don't have to go to YouTube to watch it because everybody else has taken it down, or go buy his album. Because at this point, if it's white supremacist, I'm gonna go buy the first album I've bought in years.
Well, hold on a second. Let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that specific thing for an instance.
Okay.
So if you've seen the video, you know the video. He shows the riots projected up onto the building behind him, right? Why is it that the only people associating with riots and blacks are the Marxists in our midst? I did not even think about skin color. I was like, yeah, look at all those people rioting. I remember when they were burning everybody's stuff down, and
they were both black, white, brown.
Yeah, it had nothing. To me, it had nothing to do with skin color.
It had everything to do with what was mental up here.
But the leftists, you start talking about riots and burning stuff down, and immediately it's the blacks doing it. Yeah. So who's the racist there? And then it goes back to the whole, if you're against child trafficking, you're a homophobe. I'm not the one associating homosexuality with child trafficking. You are. Yep. So what's that say about what you think of these people? Right?
Right. What's what I meant?
Faith says no, hubby was not in the cornfield of doofus.
Poor Faith.
Let's see here. Without you leading, we can't win. It's about all of us. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. But she's always on vacation.
So we were, Tag, I'm not sure if you were in here or not, but I may be calling Dee, and then we may have to figure out a fish boil like we did last time and add some crawdad and some other stuff in there because from the feed, we're learning a lot. So we may have to do that.
I'm not learning anything. I knew all this stuff.
Well,
I knew it was tasty.
I can go to Hy-Vee and we can actually have it all flown in too. We can have it fresh, not sitting on the shelf for days and days. So, because
it is getting kind of pricey. It is getting kind of pricey.
Well, we'll figure it out. I can't imagine crawdads are that pricey. We'll go to Tag's Pond and start.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen crawdads. Are you going to Dillon's or to?
You have to. Hy-Vee is the only one that I know of that will fly it in. So,
is there a Hy-Vee down there? Okay. He just got here. He didn't hear the conversation. Yeah, she's planning it.
I was saying maybe like we could do something Labor Day or something like that. So, Labor Day weekend.
Catfish is expensive.
Catfish.
There you go. We
really
can invite Skeins up, and she can bring us a couple of coolers.
Skeins, you're welcome to stay with us. We have a second bathroom now you can use.
Yep. You
don't have to pee in a bottle.
You don't have to. You don't have to compete with Angela for stinking up the place.
But, we'll put you up. That'd be a good time. Skeins and I might get in trouble. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
See, no, I'm a Missouri boy, and we call them crawdads. We call them crawfish too.
Are crawfish and crawdads not the same thing? I always thought they were, and I was in Florida and Tennessee. So
in my book, they are. Maybe
in my book, they are too.
I bet he calls it. Pop.
Is it a Missouri thing?
I don't know. It's like the pop and the soda thing.
Yeah. Or the Coke.
Okay.
That always drove me nuts. Everybody's like, I want a Coke. So I thought they seriously wanted a Coca-Cola. No, they didn't.
Faith says I'm wrong. Faith says crawfish and crawdads are different animals.
Huh.
Okay, question. This is a serious question. Now, Eagle Over Texas wants to know, are crawdads, crayfish, crawfish, whatever you want to call them,
seasonal?
Are they seasonal?
Well, when it's rainy and muddy. But in Louisiana, it's always rainy and muddy.
See, Tiger's from Missouri, and Tiger says they're the same thing too.
Yeah. So I don't know. In the South, they were.
Oh.
Of course, I don't know. My parents were both from California.
Okay,
so.
Faith says yes, they are seasonal. When's the best time to get them then?
When it's rainy and muddy.
You don't know that.
I do, because we lived in Pleasant Hill, and that's when all the little boogers started digging holes and coming up everywhere. And I had to watch my toes where I was stepping.
Oh, so it is a regional thing.
What?
They're the same thing, but saying crawdads is wrong.
Whatever.
We used to go down when I was a kid. We lived in Osceola, Missouri. And we used to go down and walk down to the grocery store, which is a couple miles from our house. And we would pay 5 cents. And the butcher would give us a little boat of liver, like like the liver ends and stuff, all the pieces. And we would go down there and we would take fishing line and we would tie it around the liver bits and we'd go into the creek and we'd throw it out there and catch crawdads. We were catching crawdads. We were catching crawfish. But we'd catch crawfish and we'd fill up a small cooler full and then we'd take them back up the hill and my neighbor's grandmother would cook them up for us. Oh, man, they were good. Okay. So Faith is going to check when the seasons are. Depends on the weather and the time of year.
Mm-hmm. My brother used to get in so much trouble when we were in Tennessee. Oh my gosh, because we always, pretty much usually lived on a military base, and they didn't want anybody down in the ditches, and they used to go down and catch crawdads down there in the ditches all the time. MPs brought him home and his friends home, and my mom was not happy. Yeah.
Okay. So Faith says you can get them in late fall, but early spring is the best time, cool and wet.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have to remember that. Hey, Tag, I'm not even going to recognize you here.
What did you say?
He said, "Man, the 1920s. Those were the days." Yep. Yep. Them flappers.
Turd. Look at you.
Yeah. Tiger says they used to go to the river, catch and mess of crawdads, boil them up for lunch. Yeah. Good Friday was always a huge crawfish boil day. There you go.
Yeah.
See, now
in the Midwest, they changed all that. So that's what I thought was awful when we first moved here, because they were always doing like, it was a crappie fish fry. And I had to ask her, like, what's a crappie? And,
crappie's huge in the Midwest.
And I was actually, you got on to me because I was calling it crappie. He's like, it's not crap, it's crappie. And I'm like, what's the difference? Anyway, but I like it. It's good.
She would see that every time we go down to the lake.
Look, there's crappie.
They're crappie. They're crappie fish.
There's crappie for sale.
But you like it? Those
I like it. It's good.
Those old guys at the church used to go down to the Truman Lake, and they would catch. So I don't remember.
Or to Angel Mario's pond, or to.
Well, remember they would go down there, and the limit was like 40 or 50 a day.
Yeah.
And they'd bring them back, and at the church we'd have these huge fries.
Do you know where Dave was getting, where he caught all that crappie? We had that one Memorial Day weekend.
I think he was down at Truman.
Was he down at Truman? Okay, he might have been.
Yeah, crappie are the bomb. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I like them.
And you know what? Like I said, I didn't like it.
They were easy and quick to fry up too, so not bad. So, and I made the season for it, so I knew exactly what was in the season, and so that may be my bias. I really liked it. In fact, Angie, I ended up leaving a gallon a season with her because she liked it too. It was really
Skeins. I was the same boat. I was in the same boat, so I'm with you on that.
He did not like fish till I started cooking it.
Fresh caught tuna. I don't think of it. Yeah, we
tuna,
got it.
You got tuna
in San Diego. Yeah.
I was like, because that's I like shark. I don't know if you guys have ever had shark steak, but oh my gosh, I'm telling you, holy.
What was the shark that you made the very first time you grilled fish for me? Mako.
Are you sure? I cannot verify or deny that because that was 30 years ago.
Oh,
no idea.
We're gonna be over there doing some crappie fishing.
There you go. No, they're not old enough yet.
Oh, okay.
They're the same age as ours.
Ours are all dead, so I hope they're not the same age as ours.
You think ours are all dead? We can't see down there, even though we have a filter and a solar panel.
Angela,
go down there.
The dog can walk across that pond without getting her shoulders wet.
Across it?
Across it.
It's 15 feet deep.
No, it's not.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's not. When it's full, it's 15 feet deep, but it's not full.
Have not had. Well, we've had rain, but you really need to get out there and redo that then, because that was a lot of money for that pond to be dug out and redone for it not to be.
I'm gonna talk to Russ.
Seriously,
and find out what we need
that's got to be done.
Let's see here. Grilled Mako shark, Playboy Club, Arlington Heights, Illinois. Oh, talking about the old times. Somebody's got to go to bed. My cousin has a restaurant in LA, and he makes seafood stuffed trout.
Oh yeah,
that will make you beat the crap out of your grandma.
It's like the old boy in all spice. But yeah, no, I love even stuffed salmon. I love it.
Terminator says, "I will eat 3 varieties of trout: bass, crappie, catfish, ling, perch, catfish, just to name a few." Yeah, you know, I will eat almost anything.
I've never heard of ling. What's ling? Is that a Canadian thing?
It's got to be a Canadian thing.
Okay.
Yes, you know what? I hated trout. I hated trout when I was younger, and it kills me because my grandfather had rights to a reservoir, Santa Maria Reservoir up in Colorado. And he would go up there and he would catch rainbow trout that weighed 5 pounds, which if you don't know trout, that's a huge trout. And that water was so clear that you could see 30 feet down and see the bottom. And even though I didn't like him, I'd love going out with the boat with him and watching him catch those fish.
I'm going to grab some more tea.
Can you fill me up full of water?
You want water? You want ice?
Yeah, if you don't mind. But yeah, it kills me that I did not appreciate what I had when I was a kid. I like big fish, definitely not catfish. Things like trout and bass. You know, and the thing with catfish is you got to cook it properly. You know, and I even got to the point where I like carp when it's done properly. You know, and around here, carp is a trash fish.
Catfish needs to be soaked in milk.
But if you prepare it right, you cut that mud vein out and soak it. Man, it's good. And Angela's over here yelling over her shoulder, you got to soak catfish in milk. The Merrimack River here is loaded with them. They also have a hatchery property at Montauk State Park. Yeah, the Merrimack River. If anybody in the chat is a trout fisherman, go down there to the Merrimack and get a license. Go fly fishing down there. That is literally some of the best fly fishing in the country, and it's right downstream from the hatchery, and the people rave about it. Okay, HG's got the winner comment for the night. The best fish is one I eat and didn't have to clean.
Right? Yeah. I've been looking for somebody around here to just go catch me a bunch of catfish so I can get it in the freeze dryer. And I sell out of that stuff. I think my catfish, I might only have 4 or 5 bags left. And so I really need to figure that out and get more done. And I even offered the kids, go get me catfish. I'll pay you $2 a piece for everything that's over a pound, and nothing. So, but they didn't really try. Either,
so neighbor Chris went over to see him the other day. He wasn't there. Found out he's out noodling. And if you don't know what noodling is,
I need to get a hold of him and see how many they got.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just a Midwestern thing or if they do it all across the country. That's got to be some of the stupid stuff. And I've done some stupid stuff, so I know what stupid is. That's got to be some of this. I am not sticking my hand up into a hole underneath the bank trying to grab a giant catfish.
And so when I was over there showing them how to can chicken and all that, they were telling stories because we were talking about doing a fish fry. And so they were talking about going noodling to do all that. And they have so many different stories. Chris got his foot stuck in between cement and almost drowned. And then, it's just crazy. And just some of the stories that they were telling. But there are also a bunch of bull riders and that kind of thing. So if that tells you anything, the risk is not a problem.
There you go.
I worked with catfish for years. Used to help.
Saying the ponds for fans when you take a net and drag it across it.
Oh.
For fingerlings and flayed catfish for a living at one time. Yuck, yuck, yuck. I could see where it would get old if you're doing it professionally.
Ooh, I think the heat is making my tea sour. That's fast.
Tornado says my grandson caught a 10-pound walleye and pickerel on Sunday. He showed us the nice catch. Wow. Did he invite you over?
Yeah, that's the important thing.
Well, she went over. Was it last weekend you were over having fish, or was it the weekend before?
It was last week.
Was it last week?
Yeah,
Did you get to eat some of it then, or is it?
She must have. So either that, or he brought a bunch and whatever.
Okay, Starla says you can take frozen catfish. I catch you some and clean the freezer. There you go. Next time we're down there.
Yeah, so that works, and I'll definitely pay for it. And so I cannot pass. So the price of catfish right now for what you're getting, I cannot make the food and freeze dry it and pass that cost on to the consumer, because if I do that, I'll go broke, and I'm not going to rip you guys off when I know I'm being ripped off. I can literally go to any lake and then look for catfish. There's not a shortage on catfish, just a shortage on time. So there's that.
Yeah, my grandfather he retired at 46, and they used to take their travel trailer and they'd start down in Baja, and they would work their way north up the coast all summer long, and they would end up, or maybe it's the other way around. Anyway, they would end up in Alaska during the salmon run, and they would catch salmon and smoke it and send it to us in mason jars. And God, it was so good. Mm-hmm. So, Tag, are we
stump fishing skeins? Yeah, that's about right.
Are we talking about the Cougar Clan changing their name to the Bass Clan? Is that who we're talking about changing their name?
Something. So, because one of the Cougars, I see stump fishing, which would, when you lose your fingers, they become stumps.
Oh, I thought it was reaching up underneath the roots of a sunken stump.
Oh, under the water? Yeah, could be. I just think
Starla says you don't got to pay for them.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll definitely freeze dry. I'll make some and freeze dry them for you.
You guys are making me hungry. Trade?
Some Gulf caught flounder, yes. Yes, that sounds good.
The Crappy Clan are the people from the Ozarks.
Now you're calling it crappy. Now it's funny.
No, yeah, in that sense, it is funny. I retired at 47, permanent disabilities. That does. Yeah, my grandfather had 3 heart attacks by the time he was 46, and the doctor told him he had to stop farming and sell his dirt bikes and his airplane, and his only thing he had to keep were his boat and his travel trailer. So all he did was they bought a place down in Apache Wells, which is outside of Phoenix, and all they did was travel around, see the grandkids, and golf and fish. So I could think of a worse way to spend my golden years. Spend a lot of worse ways. Okay, so
That's what I was trying to read right there.
Skane says, I think the reason I don't like catfish is because in North Louisiana, we had to fish fries instead of crawfish boils. My papa used to catch 50, 60 pounds on a trout line.
Yeah.
So fatty and fishy, tasting gross.
Because it wasn't cooked correctly. That's why.
Well, hold on. Correctly is a relative word.
Well, it wasn't cooked the way that I cook it. I'll tell you that, because when I do catfish, it does not taste fatty.
Well, and you don't
nasty.
do, and don't take this as an insult.
So the catfish. So the way that I learned how to do catfish is from Arkansas. So
you don't do rustic. You don't do rustic cooking.
No, that's not. It's not rustic. So if you did it rustic, but yeah, no, But we did. It was a fry down in Arkansas when we had that family reunion. It did not taste muddy. It was good.
Now, let me put my cousin's sister up. Oh, I'm not going to read that one out loud.
Because you loved it so much.
Yeah. This is my sister wife. Okay.
That's not even. He used to say that my family tree went straight up.
Had no branches on it. Couldn't get hurt falling out of it. Eagle Lover, Texas. Sounds like I would be hit with the Bartertown. Oh, you would get.
Yes.
If you're able to keep it cold.
And if you do that, let me know. And I will make a direct birder with you, and you'll come out the first night that they're there. I will stop and get some dried ice and put it in a cooler reserved especially for what you're bringing, and then put it in the cooler, send it home with Gigi, can get it in the freezer. I'm totally up for that. Just let me know. Yes, that'd be awesome.
Do you think there's going to be a fight at Suwaki Gap? I have no idea what that is, Starla. I've been kind of unplugged. Let's look it up right quick. Let's see what she's talking about.
You spelled that. Oh, that came up quick.
Oh, Wikipedia wants to let us know this not for sale.
Not for sale.
Yeah. So Suwaki Gap, Suwaki Quarter, especially immediately, Lithuania and Poland.
You get your hand up here.
No.
Let
me read it right quick. But I know what she's talking about.
You're dying time. So
I know what she's talking about now. What's going on in Eastern Europe is part of a larger issue that's going on out there. And there's a lot of territorial disputes, not just between Ukraine and Russia. And do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. I honestly, no idea. Is it possible? Yeah, it's distinctly possible. That the conflict there could spread very quickly and get out of everybody's control, if you know what I mean. So we are living. I kind of know what people in the 1930s felt like, seeing everything that's happening and just hoping beyond hope that we don't get involved. But I think we all know where that's going.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why we should build community.
Right.
We should build alternative economies, and we should become involved, because the more unresponsive the federal and state governments become, the more important it is that we're involved locally and take charge and take control of our surroundings, so we can be better insulated about what may happen. All right. Oh, Silver Lining showed up. Stop talking.
Hey.
Stop talking. Okay. Let's see what we got. What else we got going on? Bad actions are like bad news. Always travels faster than it should. Absolutely. Right. Let's see here.
Kind of like we were already supposed to be down, and oh yeah, so I was watching some game show and I thought it was really funny. Did you know?
When do you have time to watch game shows?
I did. So, did you know that they took Katrina, Hurricane Rita, and I can't remember what the other one is, but they took them, the one down in Florida possibly, but they took them out of circulation. They're not allowed to be used anymore as names for hurricanes. Useless knowledge, but I know, but I thought it was interesting.
Who knew you could retire hurricane names
You
like
can-
baseball jerseys?
You can retire apparently hurricane names.
Oh, well.
So this is the America we're coming to.
Yeah, because that's important.
I was just shocked that it was on there. But anyway, and then I don't know. I started to say something about digital dollar. Oh, the bad news traveling faster than or the miss whatever traveling faster. So but yeah, so it's just like digital dollar. We've been talking about that for what, a year and a half. We were supposed to be in it already.
Well,
and then we're not in it. And now I'm hearing a lot of people that are coming back and they're saying, we can just control this with our dollar and pay cash. So I heard somebody make a very good point. That's Federal Reserve. As long as the money is in circulation, it's not going to stop. So you just have to make sure that you keep doing it that way. And then, but yeah, the government came out and they said,
oh no, in the beginning of August, they're rolling out, and I do not remember what it's called. I apologize, but basically it's a money transfer service using the central bank, and it is part of the digital dollar rollout, and it's voluntary. It's not mandatory.
But so it's voluntary. So I guarantee you're going to be rewarded for it.
Well, here's the thing. Two things to think about. Number one, all the digital currency people. Yeah, FedNow, that's what it's called.
FedNow, yeah.
FedNow. So all these digital currency people, once they roll out the Fed coin and the central bank digital dollar, digital currency, the United States government does not like competition. And if you think that after they roll it out and they start trying to push everybody onto it, that they're not going to criminalize the use of all these other digital currencies, because terrorists can use them and it can be used for child trafficking and the dark web and all that stuff. If you think that they won't do that, then you're living in a fantasy land. And the second thing is, once they roll it out and they decide that it's entrenched enough that they can do it, they will take steps to make it so you cannot do anything unless you use central bank.
So everybody with that Bitcoin, you better be thinking about that.
Well, it's and with the second part of that, this is why it's important now to start building these relationships with people and creating these alternative economies. Because if you wait until they pull the plug on the dollar and they make it so you have to partake in it, you're not going to have any other choice. All right, you're going to have to just take a big bite out of that sandwich. You know what they say about those type of sandwiches.
Yeah, and there was even something, I guess a lot of businesses now, they're not accepting cash anymore, and everybody needs to stand up to that and just don't shop there. And so if they don't want to take your cash, don't shop there. And let them know this is how we're voting with our dollars. Our money is paying for what we want. And if you're not going to take my cash, which is federally backed, then I'm not shopping here. Just leave everything right at the counter and walk away.
Yeah, Rich was right. Community homesteaders, and not just homesteaders, anybody that's built up a true community will be able to survive it better than most. And Skane said the reward for is like $5,000. It equates to selling your soul.
Right. I didn't even know. I was just guessing that you were going to be rewarded for it. I had no idea there was actually a reward.
Now I heard, the full implementation of what they were talking about isn't supposed to happen. They're supposed to be complete until like the first week of August, from what I was reading. But it's so hard to get good, solid news on it anyway. You may be absolutely correct, Richard.
Who's not telling the truth?
You may be 100% correct. HG says going to have to use it to some degree. If they only accept it as tax payments, no payee, no owning land.
As long as there's cash in circulation, they have to take my cash.
Well, no,
They have to take my cash.
Do you have 20 years worth of taxes on hand in
Then
cash?
I will only accept cash. How about that? How about that? Because we've gone down and paid our taxes in cash.
Well,
they have to take
and
my cash.
Here's something else that's already happening. I was reading an article today, as a matter of fact. There's a regional credit union, and I cannot remember where it is, but there's a regional credit union that said they would no longer accept coins. So you can deposit money, but you cannot deposit coins, and they would not give coins out.
And that's crap. They can't do that either. So then you create a lawsuit, I guess.
Well, a credit union's private entity. They can do whatever they want. They don't. I mean, within reason.
That coin is federally backed.
That's
can't
fine, but
do that.
They can say that they don't accept them. You know,
No.
they say pay in dollars.
Well, then get your bank account out of there.
Been a fact since the beginning of civilizations. It will be the German farmer standing in my field. I will be the German farmer staying in my fields, watching the Roman Empire burn.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully,
Yeah.
Rabbit, it doesn't come to that. It's going to get bad. I just hope it doesn't get that bad.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rickster says Goshen prepping. The others have said it's already started. Okay. Okay, and I'll be honest.
I don't know who that is. So
they're a YouTube channel. They've got a YouTube channel.
Okay. Do you know where they got that information from? And we'll go look it up and verify it before we repeat anything.
Let's see here. Missouri is trying to get a bill passed that forbids being forced to pay with the Fed now crap. I certainly hope they get it.
Kansas does it too.
That's one of the things I miss. I miss the politics in Missouri.
But see, this is like where and even though we have a Democrat for governor in Kansas, we are starting to become more and more conservative, and we're starting to see a lot more bills being presented and that kind of thing that work into our benefit and things that we like what Missouri is doing. And in fact, Kansas was actually, I believe, one of the first states before Missouri even did it. I think you guys are just now doing it. And silver is actually, the silver rounds and that kind of thing is actually legal tender here in the state of Kansas. So I don't think we will be joining that. I don't even think they'll present it. We won't be joining the digital coin. I don't think that's going to happen. And so,
nope. Rickster, everywhere. Face says it's already started, and it's on the FedNow website. So I guess
interesting.
It did start.
Okay. Well, yeah. So the FedNow website, the federal government actually came out and made a statement. I saw the article today, and they actually came out and made a statement as to why they are doing it, and they were brutally honest. They can now track and follow your every move.
See, HG makes a good point. This is something that people need to remember. So anything they can make legal now, they can make illegal later.
Yeah. And let me clarify really, really quick. So let me clarify. They're going to have a hell of a hard time doing it with gold and silver because that's the only thing that's going to back them. So I would not. I wouldn't try to sell that one because that's not going to happen. And then, let me tell you this as well. Let me go back to my last statement. My last statement of what I was saying that people are going to stand up and they're going to start fighting and they're not going to accept it. So it's not that they're tracking your every move because we all know cell phones and all that crap are doing it. They're seeing what you're spending, what you're making and all of that, and they're going to make you pay taxes on every single dime. That's what I'm saying.
Silver Lining says we have to take our coins to a Coinstar, which sits in the lobby, but the bank won't take the rolls of coins.
Don't you have to pay Coinstar? Why would you do that?
Well, if you got a great big huge amount of coins.
Our banks don't do that here. They have a free machine, and then it spits out a little ticket, and you just take that ticket and you deposit it.
Apparently, Silver Linings doesn't live where we live.
That's crazy. Well, no, she doesn't, but that's crazy. I would never pay that fee. That's ridiculous. You guys need to fight against that.
Richard says, look at the new 2023 quarters. The face now looks to the right, away from in God. Okay, I'm going to have to look that one up. I'm going to have to grab one and see that.
You'll have to go buy a roll because I don't think we have it here. Or I guess I could check my wallet.
I've seen those coin machines. Yeah, drop the coins in there and you get a chit and take it to the teller. Yeah, that's what it was like at our old bank.
Yeah, it's like that at this bank.
Well, and they're doing all kinds of sneaky stuff. There's a town in Washington that's made a really screwy argument about surety laws and being able to require insurance on owning a gun within the city limits. and some judge upheld it, and the judge did a historical thing, and they were going to charge $25 for this a year for this insurance. And
To hell with your second right.
the guy, it's Washington Gun Law is the name of the YouTube channel, and the guy was making the point, said that the fee was only $25, which
only $25,
which isn't a, let's be honest, $25 is not a burden for
you're paying
for 99.99% of the people in the United States. But the problem is, how many governmental fees do you know that stay the same and don't go up? And so what'll happen is they institute these fees, and if they don't want you to do the activity, they just start raising the fees until it becomes too expensive.
And they do it here.
Yeah.
If you want a greenhouse and you want to sell plants, if you want a garden and you want to sell vegetables, if you want, they do it here, and it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. But we're working on how to get around that.
So. Faith, I'm going to disagree with you up to a point, because there was a point in time when it did mean something, and as a society, as a whole, it meant a lot. And over the past 150 years, we've gone astray.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I was going to tell you?
What's that?
I had to run to the store. Oh, no, I only get to hit you. You don't get to hit me. Tag hits me enough. I don't need it from you. And so, but I went to the store. I had to go get cat food. And so I pull into the parking lot, and I look right in front of me, and there's like this giant SUV, and they're unloading and all this other stuff. Uh-huh. And all of a sudden, I see people gathering around, and they're talking. And I was like, what in the world is going on? Right in front of my face is his license plate, and it says anti-government. And then I was like, whoa. And people are attracted to this. Well, and I don't, but they're kind of a younger family, younger than us anyway. And then
that's not a very high bar.
On my way out, I looked at, how we don't have to have license plates in the front. Uh-huh. I looked at the plate that he had on the front, and guess what it said?
What is it?
Member of the Sheriff's Association.
Oh.
And so, because when I first saw the plate, I'm like, oh, I wonder if he gets a lot of tickets. So, right, because that's where my mind went. But then I noticed he may be a sheriff's deputy. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
We'll see.
Oh, Richter, you okay, man?
I'm sure we'll see him again.
Do we need to call 911 for you?
I thought about running over there and asking him, like, hey, or telling him what we had going on. But no, I didn't do that. There were just way too many people surrounded around this vehicle. So that was very interesting.
Now, Faith, if you go look at the actual religious affiliation of all the founders, they were Christians. They were predominantly Protestant. There were a couple of deists in there, but they were predominantly Protestant. There were some Catholics in there. There's even one. There was even one Jewish guy in the founding fathers, and even the people. Jefferson, is the one they always hold up to be the big deist. Even he said that he believed Christ existed, and he was believing in Christ was important. So the they were all deists thing is a liberal lie. That's something they use to divide us and make us question. What
you believe to be a liberal lie?
No, it's a liberal lie.
Well, let her go check it out.
Well, no, I'm just saying that's where it came from.
Remember, don't be a dick.
I'm not being a dick. How's that being a dick?
You were pretty blunt. You can just word things a different way.
How do you word it different? It's a lie. It's a lie.
My belief in what I've seen.
No,
this is what I believe. This is a lie, and this is why.
It's a lie that the liberals put forward, and people have come to take it as the truth. That's just that's not being a dick. That's not being blunt. That's just a statement of fact right there. Right. My gosh, you see what happens when I try to be a nice guy? She throws it in my face. I just
remember what happened last week.
Rain Country says, I've heard people say the same thing about property taxes. Every time they want to pass another school levy, it's only XXX per 1,000. So what? We already tripled our school taxes. Mm. Absolutely.
And now they're coming after us again. And Kansas is trying to make us feel better by getting rid of the food tax and then They held that out 3 years after they approved it,
Yeah.
and then we'll see if it ever happens. It may not.
So Heidi wants to know, when does it stop? At this rate, our grandkids will never be able to afford to own a home because they would be taxed to death.
Right.
You know,
This is why it's so important.
okay, it's never going to stop. At the current rate and the current trajectory, it will never stop. This is why, again, this is why it's important that we do what we do. This is why change in the places where they create these systems that keep us indebted and over-regulated. Changes in places like that are not going to happen through the voting a man into the presidency or voting for a senator or voting for a representative. Not yet. They're going to take place right here at the kitchen table, where we start changing the minds of the people around us, and then we start building our community. We take control of our locality, and we start elevating people to higher office that are like-minded and share the same values that we do and know who they work for. Because let's face it, right now,
because that's the same way that our country started.
Right now, the people in Washington, D.C., and most of the people in the state houses don't work for us. Plain and simple. I know in D.C.
They work for Big Pharma.
There's only a handful of people in D.C. that don't work for lobbyists and big business. All right, and you can name those the people that are at least able to keep up a facade if they're lying to us. You can count them on one hand in both houses. Seriously, that's how few there are.
Well, and I think one of the things that bothers me is they do a lot of the stuff to keep everybody distracted, right? And so one of the things that they're doing right now, they're trying to implement a vaccine program for children. And so I'm just going to say it, the COVID shot, but that is actually on that program. There's several more. And if you guys think that this is not about raising money, you're wrong. So the vaccine, the pharmaceutical companies, this is multi-billion dollars of business. So all of these people that can't get their vaccines, you're talking chickenpox vaccine, you're talking shingles vaccine, you're talking COVID vaccine, you're talking, like, how many different vaccines did my doctor try to get me to take? And I think there had to have been 20 of them just because I was over the age of 50. And I was like, I'm not doing this. And then she had to read me an entire form and what the CDC recommends. And I said, Amy, stop. I don't want to hear it. I'm not doing it. And she looked at me and she said, Angela, she goes, please, I have to read this. She said, by law, I have to read it. And I said, all right, fine, bore me for 20 minutes. And that's what she did.
Okay, I'm going to say I know one name. And people may argue with me about this. I think Josh Hawley is still trying to do a good job. I don't think he's been corrupted. And the only reason why I say that is because he was our representative, actually senator. We had Claire McCaskill for years.
She was corrupt.
She was corrupt, and Josh Hawley.
He was fresh though.
But there's no telling what happens after he's been in Washington D.C.
for that long. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know. Okay, let's see. We got to catch up here. Okay. Yoda, my husband went for tetanus shots. They found out they gave him one when he was hospitalized with COVID. He has no memory of consenting.
Wow.
Because one of two things, they hit him up when he was drugged up, or they buried it in all the paperwork that he had to sign.
Yeah. And your insurance and your deductible paid a pretty penny for it. I guarantee it.
Let's see. Rabbit says, I live in an area that even the state roads don't like coming to. They call the area the end of the world. We scare them to death, and we do our own things down here. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is like down there, isn't it? Lake people.
Of course, that's why everybody from New York and California wants to move there, and that's going to change. So
lake people are definitely a different breed in central Missouri, man.
Thing is, you just got to chase them out, just like we could chase the Yahoo down the street out. So just got to do that.
So HG says one of the reasons I quit actively nursing, informed consent is a joke in our healthcare system.
They're going to do what they want to do.
You know,
it's just like I heard so many people. I have so many people that I actually know. So this is not I overheard or somebody told me or whatever. I actually know them. They went in to go get a flu vaccine because they knew that they needed it because of the job they had, and instead they were given the COVID vaccine. And it wasn't until they were handed the card to sign that they figured out they got the wrong vaccine. And that happened a lot. It's all about money. All about money.
So the only thing that prevents tetanus is proper wound care, and tetanus cannot survive when exposed to oxygen. So stepping on a dry, rusty nail will not give you tetanus.
Clean it out. Agree.
My husband is so accident prone. One of those construction market flags got caught in the mower, and a filthy rusty impaled several inches into his thigh. Damn.
I've stepped on so much stuff just because of the way we live and all of that. And if I worried about that, in fact, it's funny. So when I go to the doctor, they're like, "When's the last time you had a tetanus shot?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And they're like, "Don't you think you need one? Because you don't remember, and you need one every 10 years." And I'm like, "No. Why?"
Well, then I haven't had one since I got out of the Marine Corps.
Right. Why?
I poked
in the Marine Corps, you had to.
No, I take that back. They gave me a tetanus shot when I got.
Yeah.
I had an argument with a table saw and I lost.
It was really funny to me because especially building and all of that, when we're wrapping around the siding, you have all that stuff that you're trying to get the weather tight, right? So you're nailing in all this stuff and stuff will sit, you drop things and that. And even we're tagging these. I don't know how many of those things have I pulled from the bottom of my feet.
Oh, yeah.
They go through your tennis shoes, they go through your flip flops and all of that. But yeah, no, I've several. Would never do it.
Oh, Heidi, I've nicked myself cutting up a deer so many times. If deer blood was going to kill me, I'd be dead a long time ago. I got a great big scar right there from a blade slipping and just slicing off.
Oh, wait a minute. When you almost cut your thumb off, did they give you a tetanus shot or did you decline it?
No, not my thumb. It's this finger.
I know, but did they give you a tetanus shot?
Yeah, they gave me a tetanus shot.
Okay, so you have had one since you got out of the Marine Corps.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said.
Oh.
You were not paying attention.
I wasn't.
And I'm the one that doesn't listen. All I'm saying. Hey, we're going on an hour and 37 minutes.
All right.
I got animals I need to go.
Sheep saying they want to eat.
Yeah, I got animals that need to be taken care of. You said I received 3 COVID shots. If anything, I wasn't even in Utah.
Wow.
Each time I was. Somebody did an earname. The ghost just got out because everybody's going.
Girls are getting them back in.
Yeah. All right, listen, guys. I do need to go. Do you want to stay and talk?
I'm good. I
You
got
good?
stuff I can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's that time of night. We need to start taking care of animals. You guys take care. We love you guys being here. You guys make it worthwhile. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Remember, hit that thumbs up. Let YouTube know that you like
Richard say, hang on just a second. We're going to revisit this one.
Okay.
Because he's new to the channel. My daughter took the mandatory shot to keep her job. Since then, her family has had COVID 4 times, and she came down with thyroid cancer. Yes. In fact, we have a friend of ours.
Guys, I'm going to go take care of the animals.
All right, I can
you
finish
close
it.
this out for us.
So we
Love
have
you guys.
We have a friend of ours, and I was actually over there picking up some raw milk, and her mom ended up moving back in with her. She had 3 shots and now has bone cancer and cannot take care of herself. And so, it just really stinks. And it's unfortunate that they scared so many people. And I am so fortunate, Garen is fortunate that we have the community that we did and had the means to do the things we did from choices that we had made previously in the last 30 years, that we were able to make the choice to find a new job and that would not recommend it, sell everything and move on. And I understand a lot of people aren't in that position, but yet it's super sad what they did to our children, what they did to our parents and all of that. It worries me every day. So, all right, guys, let's see. I'm not going to keep going. I just wanted to visit back with that. And I just want to let you guys know, I don't know, tomorrow, be 1% better than you were today. And until next time, go live a life done free. Bye, guys. Let's see if I can get it.